the Land and Occupy have been doing things with housing issues for some time, and this is a national day for that sort of activity all around the country. What's happening in town is that Maggie and the mayor are talking about their vision for development to people who have paid $50 a seat to go hear them. And we thought that we had a different vision and that we would set something up out here. So this is the people's vision.
The people's vision! The people's vision! Housing for people! Housing for people!
Vision as well. So we have a vision that all this whole system that people have complained about forever, that things don't happen, or why did that happen, can be changed. And then we can actually have some input into the way people live, the way people get houses, people get housing, people get food, people get energy. And for too long, for decades, it's felt as though there's not the people don't actually have a voice. You can vote for people, but it's very limited what these political parties do. And in fact, I don't know what I know Occupy Rochester has talked about doing another party, but even that is like superfluous. There needs to be a continuous movement of democracy that's infusing everything, and so that's why I'm here, to help support that. I want there always to be ferment going on.
I'm here supporting this group because I believe that government is catering to the wealthy too much. They giving them just too much money, too much that takes away from the middle class and the poor, and there's not enough emphasis on education and things of that nature, which builds a strong middle class America. I just hope keep strong and the movement keeps building, because if we don't keep on this fight, we're going to find ourselves in a very dangerous situation.
It's looking up. I had a hearing. I had a hearing for last Friday, which it was put on hold because everybody got fired or something, I guess.
When the New York Times recently published these photographs of a Halloween party in 2010, it became the final nail in the coffin for one of the nation's biggest foreclosure mills. These employees of the Stephen J. Baum law firm of Buffalo were supposedly mocking the very people they forced out of their homes due to foreclosure. The law firm was already under state and federal investigations for questionable and deceptive practices. Shortly after these pictures became public, the Stephen J. Baum law firm announced it was shutting down.
So we couldn't have a court date. What happened is they're trying to get they've got another lawyer now, so we're trying to get to the table with him and get some closure with them. I guess they've sent their appraiser to my home and everything now, so they're trying to give me a modified mortgage. The Supreme Court Judge Taddeo, said for me to come back, and I'm still in there because they haven't come to the table with the right thing, to saying that I was served or whatever that is.
For nearly a year, Take Back the Land Rochester has been helping Kathy Griffin Lennon fight what it believes is an illegal foreclosure and eviction process. As YNN's Leah George tells us, a state Supreme Court judge signed an order to show cause in Griffin Lennon's favor.
I'm in my home, and I don't know, so it's not illegal, and I'm not squatting.
this is wonderful. I'm so glad to see all these people out. I want to see more. And I encourage people to continue to keep an eye on all the different activities because there's always something going on to plug into.
We fight for families' homes one by one, and it's enough to take a foreclosure mill empire down.
Take it down!
Since September 17th, the Occupy Wall Street movement has sprung up first on Wall Street and gone all over the country and all over the world. A new movement has sprung up from the grassroots uncontrollably to fight against social and economic inequality and corporate greed. People have occupied public squares to raise awareness, and now the Occupy movement is starting to move increasingly out into the neighborhoods. Since 2008 to the end of this year, it's estimated that somewhere between 20 and 30 million people will be forcibly displaced because of foreclosure in the United States. People are occupying homes in Chicago, New York City, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Riverside, Atlanta, and the Occupy movement has taken this as a new tactic and occupied front lawns and keeping people in their homes in Cleveland, in Atlanta, in Minnesota, San Francisco, in Detroit. Locally here in Rochester, about 3 weeks ago, there was a family, the Steidells, Maria and Harold Steidel, who were being foreclosed on, and originally by Wells Fargo, and then Freddie Mac came to evict the family. However, they came down to Occupy Rochester and also would take back the land, and they heard their stories, and we had an impromptu press conference when Mayor Richards came down to sign the agreement. As people know, people here were so committed they took 48 arrests to open up public space here, and the city did a 180. Occupy and Take Back the Land committed to defend this family. After we committed to do a public eviction defense of this family, they withdrew the eviction, and they have now offered the family a 30-day stay as they negotiate and hopefully keep the family in their homes permanently.
From the birthplace of the movement to its next phase, tomorrow across the country plans for a day of action called Occupy Our Homes. The protests aiming to help victims of the foreclosure crisis, like Rochester residents Harold and Maria Steidel, who will join me in a moment. The Steidells, along with 100 other people, protested outside Wells Fargo, asking that bank to allow the family to stay in their home. Wells Fargo and mortgage giant Freddie Mac did give them a 30-day extension, but they're still fighting to keep their home.
This is a concrete victory for the Steidel family, for the Occupy movement. When people try to ask, what is the Occupy movement about? This is what it's about. Fighting back for regular people. I want to introduce Catherine Lennon.
I had an appointment with the Occupy and Take Back the Land, and I didn't even know it. This is a human right for all of us. I mean, for all of us. I have been one to say, I am a living witness. I am one of the ones of all of us. I'm no better than the next one. Catherine Lennon, everybody's Catherine Lennon, if you ask me. Everybody's Catherine Lennon. You know, I am Catherine Lennon. This is not about no bank. This ain't about no Wells Fargo. This ain't about no Stephen J. Bond, even though it is all about him. But it's about us now. It's about us. It's about us right now. Okay? It's about the people. The people. And all I want to say is let's keep fighting. We just we done got it. We done got our second win now. We all right. We all right. We all right. And Davey is gonna take Goliath down.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
It looks like the elite want us to become a society of nomads. You know, you can't even occupy your own home because you're being foreclosed upon.
And there's no lack of houses. It's just getting people to the houses and making it work.
At 12:30 Eastern Time, our own Catherine Lennon did a live interview on CNN across the country to tell her story, because people are inspired by Kathy and her family for fighting back against the most powerful institutions in the world.
Yeah.
In March, the banks came to try to put her out. We in the community, along with Take Back the Land, organized an eviction defense which stopped the eviction for weeks. And then unfortunately, the city of Rochester decided they want to make it a priority to make more people homeless and more houses vacant. And they came with a SWAT-like operation, 20 police, to take this grandmother out of her home.
Sounds like a fascist police state to me.
7 of us were arrested, including Kathy's neighbor from across the street who came to her defense. Since then, Kathy moved back into her home, liberated her home, reclaimed it on Mother's Day. And she's been in her home ever since. Take Back the Land has been doing also housing liberations for homeless people, matching them up with vacant homes. Rochester has 3,000 vacant homes in this community, while there's 500 to 1,000 homeless people on any single day, and we think that's an injustice.
In the room inside, they're talking about doing the same thing again and again. Now, they have billed in order to get Paytech and then Windstream. As of June, they had 335 billable hours on that project through the Downtown Development Corp, and more with the city of Rochester. And the only thing they can think of is giving them $14 million. That's their plan. There are thousands of vacant and abandoned houses in Rochester.
People in
They could be rehabbed, they could be refurbished, they can be used as places for homeless people, and this would cost a fraction of the money. The $5 million loan they're offering Pike Company to build that structure would cover an urban homesteading program, would cover rehabbing roughly 1,000 houses, and would cover creating a community land trust. We could do all of that for the $5 million loan. It's a different way of doing business in which we stop caring about rich people and their profits and instead start caring about all the people of Rochester.
We have a dream for Rock City! We have a dream for Rock City!
Moving forward, we're gonna, sometime very soon, maybe this week, we're gonna be announcing a new housing liberation. We're moving a new homeless family into vacant bank-owned homes, as we've been doing for a long time. And stay tuned for more information that'll be happening very shortly. Moving forward, we want to come up and work on these community solutions. These ideas are here. We can implement them. We have the resources. This is the richest country in the world. The money is being diverted to the corporate sources through corporate tax breaks. When this city talks about urban development, they're talking about luring corporations to Rochester. They're not talking about providing for the people. We're here, we're occupying our parks, we're occupying our homes, and we're going to put this on the agenda. They cannot ignore us any longer. We're going to be here, and we're going to make fundamental changes in our community.
Where are we going? Are we going inside? Yeah. Are we going inside? Yeah. In the big lobby where it's warm to talk about our city? Yeah. I'm going inside.
Well, next, the police moved in.